But the way that this is setting up, losing 5%, this is telling you that people want... Hey everybody, hope you had a great trading day. Let's jump right into it. So BRCC was one of the stocks that we had on the top 10 list, and we were looking at it the week before as well. When we broke through an all-time high. What I want to point out to everybody is the following. This was a really rough tape and stay to the end because we're going to talk about what's going on, especially ahead of CPI tomorrow. But you see this little level right here? So you flip that upper channel. When you flip upper channels, you can go parabolic, and that's exactly what this is setting up for. Now, you're going to have to be fast because you're in a fast market. But if you can get over this tomorrow, this 332, right? See this 33, 32 level? If you can flip that tomorrow, this is probably going to continue to push. See how the volume is increasing? See how the RSI is picking up speed? So that's really what you want to see, and that's what you want to look for. If you take a look at just how we acted today, and we get rid of these indicators and just focus on price. Here was your wedge line you broke. Looks like you were putting in a high. Then you flip that level, and then you just had buying all day long. So this is pretty much what you want to see, a rejection, and then you come through and you make a new high. When you have a rejection and a new high, these usually tend to power forward. And that's pretty much what happened today, which is exactly what we want to see. Now, Apple sadly is completely breaking down here, and we're going to talk about this. This is the first close below the 50-day. Now, you have CPI tomorrow. CPI is going to come out. They're looking for 0.5. That's the most important number. Anything over that, and you should see selling. Now, with the weakness we're seeing in the market, it's starting to look like they're expecting a much worse number than anticipated. And you can see this level right here. And so you're really just watching that 165.51 level. 165.51 is really what you're going to watch. If you break that tomorrow, this is on the table. Now, I'm not saying it's going to drop $8 and Apple's going to drop $8 in a day, but we have to understand that this can easily trade its way back down to this level. So that's something that we have to consider. And that's something that I would suggest that you put on your radar, a move down to this, because we're starting to see these moves are starting to get a little vicious, and this is what happens when you rally and then you fail. People just want out, and that's exactly what you're saying. People just want out of the market. So if this breaks tomorrow on the rough CPI number, this can continue to go down. This is a great spot to short it or to buy puts. Now, what people are missing about Twitter is exactly what he came out and said. He said that he does not want to be on the board. Elon doesn't want to be on the board. That's actually a positive for the stock, and it's one of the reasons why the stock was actually up today. Institutions know that this is positive. Why? Because when you are in a company like that and you are on the board, they have certain requirements. One of the requirements was holding no more than 15% of the stock. I'm not sure exactly why he balked at being a director, and really all we're doing is guessing. But what I do know is it does open up that opportunity. I would also state that today's buying volume was greater than the past two selling volumes on any given day, which is exactly what you want to see. And this is setting up for a reversal pattern. Watch this 47.89. Caveat, I did start a position in this again today. So I already have a position in it. I'm actually down a little bit in it right now, but I like this. If this can flip, we can get back to this level. These are the kinds of names you need to look for, things that have absolutely nothing to do with what's going on with the indexes, which we'll get to in a moment. Now, Tesla, this is a shooting star pattern. It doesn't get any clearer than that. You broke the 21-day. There is literally no support. We talked about this in the top 10 video. There's just no support. So what does that mean for us? It means that if you break this level right here, okay, which you just happen to be sitting right on, right? So 974.75 is what you're looking at. You're going to probably head to here. Now, I said this in the top 10. I don't think this is straight down. I don't think it's going to be one day. But the way that this is setting up, losing 5%, this is telling you that people want out of high beta and they want out of tech. And so you can see this exacerbate to the downside. So that's something to consider. Now, with that said, let's just talk about what's going on out there so we can get a sense of it. This was our levels, and this is what we broke. So we broke anchored VWAP. And by breaking anchored VWAP from the trough, that means that everybody that bought in here on average is now down. So that means that's where you anchor VWAP to a specific spot. So anchored VWAP here means that all these people were up in the trade and happy until when? Friday. Now you broke down, closed below the 50-day, and now you're here and you're on a gap down. So I've got a gap here and I have a gap here. Really not what you want to see. And this is kind of setting us up to go lower and possibly test these lows. The only thing that's really holding us up, and we're going to talk about this, this is not falling apart. It's coming down, but the biotech is not falling apart, nowhere near what's going on here. And this is, we're back to lows. So just to put that in perspective, you're back to the recent lows of this index. So something to keep in mind. Now, what do we do about that? Well, we have to focus on what we can do and what we can trade. And I would strongly suggest that you focus on this. I talked about SARC over the weekend, but if you look at the SQQ, which is the 3X ETF, this is the first day you've closed over the 50 since you broke it. And this is, some people are going to take notice of this. I'm one of those people that's going to take notice of this. And by breaking this level and setting up to push higher, this gives us the opportunity to take advantage of the sell-off and to make money on the long side. Now, as I've been saying with these kinds of bear ETFs, you have to buy these and trade out of them when they're successful. You don't want to be holding these and rooting for the top of the food chain. Sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't. My advice is to keep moving the stop up. You can see how this one continually went up. We've been in this since 46.30, and you can see we just keep moving it up, moving up the stop. When we get stopped out, that's the end of it. But you are seeing signs that this is going to continue, so you need to be aware of that. Every day we're seeing this close higher and higher now. We're trying to come back down, and now look at us. It's not working that way anymore, is it, right? We keep pushing the boundaries one way or another, right? One day we're holding the 200, the next day we're getting above the 21. So this is telling you that there could be more pain and there could be more selling on the volatility index. That's not what you want to see. If you take a look at IWM, this was your upper channel wedge line, right? So here's you have an upper channel right here. This is the low end of that wedge line, and you close below it. That's not what you want to see. If you're looking to take advantage of that, small caps, you'd want to look at shorting this TNA, 3X Bull Fund. There's also a bear fund, but I like to short the Bull Fund. And this is all based upon what's going on out there on the 10-year. Okay, the 10-year is now over 275. You're at 278. That's telling you things are going to get worse. They're not going to get better. 275 was our target in a month. We hit it in 3 days. So that was our target right here from one of the previous videos. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click all notifications, because I do put out private videos as well. So, but you can see what's here and you can see how we're doing. So this alone leads you to believe that this is going to sell down more. Okay, it's all interconnected. You're going into the CPI number tomorrow. It's not looking great. Now, the SPY, for the first time, we broke the 50-day. That's not what you want to see. So what you do is now you go through your indexes, meaning you go through your sectors. I refer to them as indexes sometimes, but you go to your sectors. Now, when you start reviewing them, you're going to see that energy is down, right? 3%, one of the most down on the day. But what does that mean? Well, we still haven't broken the 21-day. That's a little different than looking at tech. Tech that's been breaking, we have the 50 pointing down, we have the 21 rolling. Well, this is telling us that we're setting up to come in a lot harder, isn't it? So that's something that we have to focus on. We have to focus on not only what's down on the day, but what is setting us up. To me, this is setting up for a really nasty test of this level. And if that happens, you're going to see XLK. And even though I do like the cloud space, you're going to see this come in. And that's exactly what we're seeing, right? We're seeing that Microsoft's coming in with the XLK, that and Apple make up 40% of it. And that's exactly what you're seeing. So you have to keep that in mind. Energy came in because Shanghai shut down. They're talking about supply chain issues again, COVID restrictions. Look, at the end of the day, this is relatively simple. Okay, as long as this is above the 21-day, which it's been, I will be continuing to be buying energy and oil names. If this breaks below that and closes below that, I'm going to need to see the next couple of days of pattern to see if I'm going to continue to invest in it. But overall, these are the sectors that you want to look at. You want to look at the real estate sector and how that's doing as well. But really focus tomorrow on the CPI and how tech acts on the CPI number. If we take out a lower low tomorrow and you take out that 340.55, I would strongly suggest that you look at adding this as a position, because it means that we could rally, this could rally pretty fast, as people just want to get out of the way and throw in the towel and just wait and see when this is going to get better, especially going into a very short week, because we are off on Friday for Good Friday. So that's it, everybody. Have a great night. Trade to win tomorrow.